Hey all, this is John over at the OpSource Cloud. Today we are going to give a video demo of installing WordPress on the OpSource Cloud. For those of you who are not familiar with WordPress, WordPress is a blog, a publishing platform. It's free. It does a great job. It's easy to install and get going. And if you're looking to test blogging internally within your enterprise, or if you're looking to do some messaging to your enterprise, to the outside world, WordPress is a good product, a good platform to do it on top of. It's very flexible and has a nice interface, and lots of people use it and are very, very happy with it. So for today's demo, I'm going to go ahead and, like we do with most of these, I'm going to pull up our cheat sheet that we have here on the OpSource community on how to install WordPress on a Linux server. And I'll use this kind of as a guide, kind of not as a guide as we go through, but you'll see what I'm doing, how it flows against the cheat sheet that we have here. For the demo, I've gone ahead, I've built this WordPress server. I built it off of my customer image, my cloned image that other people can use within my company on this baseline lamp image. So that's been built back out, has a private IP address on it, and that's the system we're going to use. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and we'll get logged onto the VPN. I want to start a terminal session as well, so we'll get that going. Get logged in. Okay, great. We need to go and download the WordPress product. So let's go ahead and hit the download tab. Let's get this file, get it downloaded. We'll let that get started there. The WordPress install file is not huge. It's a fairly small file. I'm going to go ahead and uncompress this. I'm going to uncompress this file on my desktop, and as we're going through and doing these other things, just checking to make sure MySQL is running, checking to make sure my web server is running, going through these basic steps, I'll go ahead and start copying. I'm just going to SFTP those files up. So I'll get my SFTP client going. I will go to slash, I'm going to put this in /var /www/html, and then I'm going to put it in the WordPress subdirectory. You can put it in the root directory as well if you want the server essentially just to kind of be dedicated to WordPress. I'm just going to put it in a following directory and access it from there. So those files are uploading now. We'll start to go through these steps to get to make sure other services are running, to get things created. But first, let's just one easy way to if you don't know how to PS and like grep for things, to make, to check and make sure things are running, is just to go do some basic restarts on some servers. So let's just restart MySQL. The stop failed, but the restart was successful. So that's fine. And we'll restart Apache. And there we go. They're both running. And then what we want to do next is we want to go in and start to create the databases the database that WordPress is going to use. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Command line. Now, if you have PHP admin, which this server does, so you can definitely use the UI as well. I'm just going to do command line to install this, but you could definitely go to a server if you have PHP myadmin running on it, and you could create this database the same way. So I'm going to copy and paste these in, mainly just because I don't want to make any botches on any of these statements for the demo, any mistakes. We'll go ahead and get those going. All right, great. And then what we'll do here now is we'll flush privileges just to get things reset. And then we'll exit. Okay, so that database has been built. I created a database called WordPress with a user WordPress and a password WordPress. Obviously, that's not what you want to do, but that's what I put in place. And put your own username, put your own database name, do whatever you're comfortable with there. So now, kind of where we are with the install, we've got our database created, we have got our files are uploaded, they are in this WordPress directory. What we need to do next is go into that directory and make some changes to the config file so that the WordPress system knows how to access the database and what it needs to do. So I'm going to just go ahead and move over directly to that WordPress directory. And the first thing I want to do is I want to copy this. There's a config sample file, and you'll see it. It's wp-config-sample.php. I want to copy that to the file that I'm going to use for config, for the WordPress config, and that's I'm going to rename it essentially to wp-config.php. And once I have that in place, I'm going to VI that file. Again, you could do this on your desktop and then copy it up. I'm just going to do it in through VI, but you need to insert those variables that you had put in earlier in the process. So we want to basically come in here and say database name is WordPress, the password is WordPress, and I skip my username. Let's get that one. And my username is also WordPress. And so those are the variables we want to change. So I'm going to write that file. We'll have that in place. And so we're ready now to go and check on the success of this piece of the install, as well as start to load the final pieces. And you get to the final install steps with WordPress by going to the WordPress directory, and then you want to do wp-admin/install php, I believe. Hopefully that's correct. Right, and there it is. And you go through the final steps. So we'll just call this the OpSource Cloud blog, OpSource Cloud at OpSource.net. I don't want to have this appear in search engines. This is just for testing. I'm going to install that piece. This is an important part. Make sure that you go ahead and just capture. You don't necessarily have to capture the admin, but make sure you capture your password that it throws up here. It's randomly generated. You're going to need it to get in to log on, and trust me, you don't want to lose it. You're going to change it, but you just want to make sure you have it available. So I just pop up a quick text admin block just to put it over there just for safekeeping, and then I will go ahead and log in. So here we go, we got admin. I did a copy on that, so I should be able to just paste it back in, but for whatever reason, if I did not have it, I've got it saved over here, and I'm going to go ahead and log on to the system. So there you go. There is WordPress installed, up and available. You can now use it again to internally for people to play with blogging, test blogs. You can put a public IP address against it, and allow people to hit it across the internet as well. So basic install from beginning to end. I hope you found the video helpful, and thanks very much for using the OpSource Cloud.